Hey everybody, welcome to Last Week from the Table for December 22nd, 2020. I'm your host, DM Gallibond. Okay, well, we had three sessions this weekend, um, but just as a note, on Thursday, December 24th, we will not have a session of um, Sword Coast Chronicles. Uh, Too many people have conflicts on Christmas Eve. Perfectly understandable. So we will not have a session that night. All right, let's go ahead and get on with our show. Speaking of Thursday night, Sword Coast Chronicles, we started back at Scarlet Moon Hall where that earthquake was going on. Uh, they eventually saw kind of something connected with the earthquake, a bunch of humanoids riding bullets, which are these land sharks. Literally, they are burrowing creatures that burrow through the earth and then erupt out from the soil, like sharks breaching to, um, bite at, you know, a swimming bird or otter or something like that on the surface of the ocean. Uh, they uh, they came up, and then a whole bunch of other people came attacking the people that were trying to do this fire ceremony, at which the party had pretty much figured out they were fire cultists by this point. And now they see these things and they're going, wait a second, these look like earth cultists. And the fire people were going after some water cultists. So what's going on? Are we like in the middle of a elemental civil war here or something like that? So that happened. They had a skills challenge where the party was trying to get non-combatants away from the hill, and they succeeded, so they did. And then at the end of that skills challenge, the entire top of the hill just went up in this big, huge inferno, which didn't kill everybody because a group of these earth cultists came and attacked the party. So they had a big old knockdown, drag out fight with them, and the party ultimately wound up prevailing. And now they have to figure out where they're going to go. So next time we play, which I think is going to be New Year's Eve, but um, you know, I am giving the players a few days to get back to me and let me know whether we're going to play New Year's Eve or not. Um, I think we're going to play New Year's Eve. So that point in time is when we will finally see uh, what becomes of, what the aftermath of all of this earthquake and big inferno and everything was, and what the party wants to do next. So that will be Thursday, tentatively Thursday, December 31st at 8 p.m. Otherwise, it'll be the first Thursday in January before we get back to it. All right, Lost Mine of Original D&D. That happens on Saturday at 7 p.m. And this week, with our magic user Amira, the tables were turned on her a little bit. The party finally went to the Red Brand hideout, and they snuck into the hideout. They um, managed to sneak their way in, with Mustard, their captured Red Brand, as their guide. Actually, he's a charmed Red Band, so he thinks the party are his friends. Um, he brings them uh, into the hideout, and they're trying to get to the Glassstaff, and because they want to see if they can't deal with the Glassstaff first and get rid of him. And they got as far as his laboratory, and that's kind of where things went wrong. Somehow he found they were there. They were very quiet, but somehow he figured out they were there. And he went and rounded up the remaining numbers of his troops that are in the hideout and brought them all into attack the party from behind. And then when the glass staff appeared, because he had made himself invisible, when he appeared, he cast a spell on the party, which is Hold Person. And in original D&D, Hold Person does not affect one person. It affects up to 4 people that the caster chooses. And when they fail their save, they are not held motionless for 1 minute. They are held motionless for 90 minutes. And the only thing that breaks that paralysis is either a dispel magic or the reversal of Hold Person. There is not a rule that when you take damage, the paralysis is broken. There is not a rule that the caster has to concentrate on it to keep the spell up. So, 3 of the party members and an NPC are just out of the fight. And the enemies are attacking. So, we're going to do something fun on our next session. I'm going to give over control of some of the allied NPCs actually to the players, so they will have something to do, and we will see how this fight plays out with the actual party members unable to participate in it. So the players will still get to play, and it'll be kind of a fun thing. But this very well could be a TPK situation here, because in the original rules of D&D, they were pretty brutal on player characters. Your player characters didn't stick around a lot if they were, if they weren't, if they didn't have a good measure of luck. All right, so join us Saturday night, twitch.tv/Gallibond to see what happens next in the Lost Mine of original D&D. And then in the Walker of Waterdeep, the party got a quest. They got a quest from guardians. Not any guardians, but 4 of the 5 spirit guardians of Kamigawa. And if you're familiar with Kamigawa, then you know that the spirit guardians of Kamigawa are Oriental style dragons. That is the way their artwork is depicted. They are considered dragons within the Magic the Gathering game. So they have all of those properties that dragons have, but they are spirits, and in not kind of in the Western dragon tradition of Smaug from Lord of the Rings, but the Oriental dragon tradition, kind of like the big serpent-like thing with the little tiny legs and the big, huge, long bodies, and that fly by kind of serpentining their way across the sky. So they came down. They told the party that their 5th guardian, their brother, has been corrupted, and that the party is carrying a broken scale that needs to be repaired, and the person in the party that has draconic blood is the one that has to actually repair the damage. But before they can repair the damage, they have to go find the missing guardian and fight the guardian and subdue the guardian. Killing the guardian is not a good idea, but they have to fight him and they have to subdue him. And when they get him subdued, then the barbarian is supposed to repair the damaged scale, and supposedly that will restore the guardian to his old self and remove the corruption from him. So that will be something that they will begin looking into on next Sunday's edition of the Walker of Waterdeep. There was a nice big fight that they finished up this week, defending the village. The caster did not get away. The caster thought he was going to get away, but Gallibond had something to say about that. Gallibond and his big old huge sentient um, great axe had something to say about it. So yeah, that was that. Was a fun session, and we are planning to play on next Sunday. So come join us, please. 2 p.m. Eastern Time Sunday for the next session of the Walker of Waterdeep. All right, and that is going to do it for this week. Um, since we won't have a game on Thursday, I'll take this opportunity to wish you a very Merry Christmas. If you want to catch up on these games, the archives are on YouTube. On this channel here, you can go and look for the various archives of these different games. And the last thing I'll do is say, try to always keep your games interesting so that you will have tales from your table that you can share as well. Good night, everybody.